Good morning, everybody. YouTube is running incredibly slow this morning. I hope we're going to hold our act together here today. Sometimes we get where we are in a situation where it just isn't going to happen, but we're hopeful. Good morning. My name's Gary, DenverGuitarOrchestra.com. That's where you should go to pick up the sheet music for the program, for the broadcast. And I'm posting the link on our website right now. Over on the website, there's sheet music, instructional program, inspiration. I don't know what else is on there. Certification program, all kinds of delightful things. Let's go see whether the link works properly. And then we'll go get it, and everybody will have a chance to come in, get settled down. Today is Thursday, and normally we just have a different regular broadcast on Thursday, but I'm taking tomorrow off, so we will all be playing our Friday concert today, and that includes, let me give you a brief overview. Today we'll be playing Trumpet Voluntary, Streets of Laredo, Alouette, Ain't Gonna Rain No Mo, Tisket A Tasket, and Brother John wrap up today, along with our scales. So we haven't done scales in a few weeks, and so we'll do all of that today. Let's see. What else do I know about this? Let's see. Let's go stick this on Twitter real quick. https://Denver guitarorchestra.com, and then we'll put on our logo onto the tweet. Up, Denver guitar logo, and then we hit tweet. 234 guitar lessons on the website. That's okay. They're all basically the same. So, let's see. All right, so we've tweeted, we've posted on here. I'm peeking through my email, which I have basically unsubscribed from everything in order to keep up with it, and still I get stuff in that's probably more important than I make it. Vic has made it in this morning. She says the sound is good. There's fabulous sheet music over there. Thank you, Vic. By the way, those of you who are Thursday night attendees, I know you all week you've been like, well, where's the music? Where's the music? So we will be doing tonight. I have Norwegian Wood done. I have Super Secret Song number 3 done, and I have and I completely finished Penny Lane. I was just so delighted, except then I realized my pinky was really hurting at the end of my playing it through it one time, and I thought, I put this in the wrong key. So I am changing the key on it to hopefully, theoretically make it more playable. And in so doing, the only tragedy that happens is there's a B flat that shows up, which isn't the end of the world, and an F chord that shows up a couple of times. But outside of that, I've got a better handle on Penny Lane. I was just working myself to death, and I think I knew at the time. I'm like, man, this is kind of hard to play. And so I'm putting it into a different key that I think will be much. And I've already played through the first half of it in the other key, and I'm like, yeah, this is what you should have done in the first place. So we. Pay attention to your email here. It'll probably be, what do I have going this afternoon? Let's double check. Let's see what the day holds for Gary in terms of getting work done. Oh, I'm in good shape. So look for in your email before you come to class tonight, and you'll have Super Secret Song number 3, Penny Lane, and Norwegian Wood. And like I said, Penny Lane is done, and I did this years ago, and I could have sworn there was a typo in the lyrics, and I've read through the lyrics about 10 times looking for the typo, and I can't find it. So you'll help me find it, and I think I've managed to get it in a much more playable arrangement here. So I will put that asleep for now, and that's will be coming to you guys on your email And those of you who are not regular attendees, your email and address on our website, you go to the website, it's right on the front page, right in the middle, right at the top. It says, join our email list. You should absolutely have already put your email address in there. I don't email often, once or twice a month, but when I do, it's usually because I have new sheet music for you. And that's the easiest way for me to get it to you. And so, again, check your email before coming to class tonight for Penny Lane, which will be playable, Norwegian Wood, which is actually a beautiful song. And so it's super, I don't want to say easy, but it is really not a major challenge. It's also a very strange song. Those of you from that era, at some point, I'm going to get all of you in a room, and I'm going to have you sit down, and I'm going to have you explain to me why you like that band. Norwegian Wood is about, he's going over to this young lady's house, and they're hanging out, sitting on the floor, drinking wine, and when it's time for bed, she sleeps in the bed, he goes and sleeps in the tub, and then when he wakes up in the morning, she's gone, so he burns her house down. I'm like, what? Wait a minute. So I don't understand that kind of stuff, but you guys will explain to me why it made sense at the time. And there's that. Then we also have Super Secret Song number 3 coming. Super Secret Song number 3 is really pretty, and it's not for everybody, right? Those of you guys who don't care about standard notation, perfectly fine. You don't need to do it. But for those of you who are thinking, yeah, it'd be kind of fun to be able to play that way, it keeps you busy. Let's see. Evelyn made it in. She says, my sound is good. Elizabeth is also in. Snowy. We have a freezing cold day outside in Colorado, and we're going to have another tomorrow's supposed to be like really cold. It's like Midwest type cold tomorrow. So we're not very good at that. Arlo is here, and Pauline is here, and probably a couple other people hanging out in the widget. So let's get going. I've got a nice group of songs to play today. I want to wrap up the week on Brother John. And if you are haven't been attending all week, or you're newer or whatever, please take time to go back through on the Monday class, lesson number 231. We cover in detail how to hold the guitar, how to tune the guitar, and how to play Brother John. And so those are not unimportant skills. I started a new intro to guitar class last night with the city of Lakewood, and I am always amazed that first 45 minutes really sets you up for the rest of your career in guitar. You really got to know how to hold the darn thing, and if you're not holding it right, you fight it and fight it and fight it, and then you also need to know how to tune it, right? And this one, it still has a lot of value, just running down that relative tuning, making sure your guitar sounds good. And then finally, we play the E chord. I guess I should pull up the sheet music. I have it memorized, but I always feel like I probably ought to have it in front of me. Let's go through, let's sing it twice, the French version and then the English version. Pick 2 different strum patterns. If you're doing your thumb the first time, do a claw the second time. If you're doing your claw the first time, do an arpeggio the second time. If you're doing an arpeggio the first time, doing a different arpeggio the second time. Something. And see what you can do to make this thing sound good. It goes way above my voice, obviously, so who cares? So we are not using this as a good example of how to sing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous. Sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines, ding, ding, dong, ding, ding, dong. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? making sure you feel comfy with getting your E chord on. That's the entire point of that, along with taking a minute just to double check, all of your right hand techniques. And I've been working on them, getting more fluid, more comfy with them. Let's see. Vic says, it's always the melody and chorus as we couldn't make out the lyrics. Vic is explaining how the Beatles got to be popular. You're like, no, we don't know why we liked them. We just knew they had a catchy lyrics, catchy chords, and catchy melody, right? Yeah. I think it's a scene in Wayne's World where they're singing along to a song, and then they get to this spot where none of them know the lyrics, and they all go, and then they go, wow, 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 and they get to the part they actually know what to sing. Yeah, Norwegian Wood. I was busy putting it in. I'm going, gosh, this is such a pretty melody, and then I always put the lyrics in last because they're a pain. And I'm typing them in, type. I get down to verse 3, and I'm like, he burns her house down. What? Wait a minute. All right, let's play the melody. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's start again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Switched over to my individual finger picking. That is definitely a weakness of mine, and it showed, didn't it? All right, there's Brother John. We don't need to play the tough acts, guys. I don't necessarily recommend playing this one as a tough act anyway. Let's move on to our next song of the day. Scroll. A Tisket A Tasket. So we also started book 2 over this week, and so I think as I'm working through this book again for the, 4th or 5th time going through the new version of book 2, I'm actually delighted with how the songs play out and how you build the skills that you built in book 1 start to build into book 2. I don't know how thoroughly I thought through the order of the songs is basically just alphabetical, but the skill set, it appears that I was sort of thoughtful about, hey, let's not overdo it as we start into this book. And it's really not until you get to the 4th or 5th song where you start getting really serious into new material. And so, yeah, so I'm kind of pleased with that. Last night I was thinking, gosh, Gary, you're smarter than you thought. All right, which is not true. I think I'm a genius, right? Which is not true. Let's go through the chords, A chord, and then go to your E7, right to A. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. A tisket, a tasket, a green and yellow basket. I wrote a letter to my love, and on the way I dropped it. I dropped it, and on the way I dropped it, a little girl, she picked it up and put it in her pocket. The story goes on in the song about, I don't remember exactly what happens there, but that's not the purpose of the song, is to sing the song. The purpose of the song is to learn how to do tough uke or tough acts right away when you move into book 2. Book 1, I sort of discourage people from doing tough acts because the tough acts there are very much too tough. And we encourage people to start doing tough acts here in book 2. And that's really the purpose of the song. Let's go through the melody. Alls, 2s, and 3s. Make your best choices. 1, 2, 3. Always try to remember to slow down just a smidge as you get into the last measure or two. Just let the song slow down just a smidge. That's what we do always, almost always, in almost all songs. We slow down just a little bit at the end, and then also always remember to hold on to whatever you're holding on at the end. Just keep holding on to it until your guitar shuts up. All right, melody, and then the tough acts. This is where we start in book 2. This is what's important as you get into book 2, is getting where you're starting to get comfortable with this. So let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3. Really good piece of music just to practice, to get you, like, this would be a good warm-up piece, right? I mean, A's and E7s are coming up every single day you play, and then working your ring finger, putting your ring finger to good use on your left hand to get the melody to come out. Lovely little tune, and all right, and make sure you're comfy with reading your repeats as well. Most of you guys have been around a while, so you know what you're doing with that. Next song up on our list of the hits, Ain't Gonna Rain No Mo. And as I often mention, this song is not, I don't know, it's the melody is iffy, maybe, but the sentiment behind the song is hilarious if you pick the right lyrics. Wendell wrote 50 verses of this, and most of them are absolutely unacceptable by modern standards. But the few that he wrote about bugs, playing bugs on the wall, are pretty cute. So let's sing it through twice. We'll do the verses as written, but don't neglect on page 2. You have the additional lyrics, and they're very funny. And so you should put those in there when you are working on this song at home. You can make a real fun activity for. Let me see where my thing's going. Make a fun activity for some friends of yours. Sit around, have a glass of wine, and sing this song. It's pretty funny. D chord to A7 and back 2 times through. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it ain't gonna rain no more. I started you off at the wrong speed. 1, 2, 3. Oh, it ain't gonna rain no more, no more. Ain't gonna rain no more. So how in the heck can I wash my neck if it ain't gonna rain no more? Well, a peanut sat on a railroad track. His heart was all aflutter. Then along came a train roaring down the track. Toot toot peanut butter. Oh, it ain't gonna rain no more, no more. It ain't gonna rain no more. So how in the heck can I wash my neck if it ain't gonna rain no more? Oh, we had a goat down upon a farm. It ate up old tin cans. When it puked up its guts on a Friday night, out came for to dance. little song. Dude, the additional lyrics are even funnier. Oh, there ain't no bugs on me. No, there ain't no bugs on me. I think the reason that I found this song was I think there used to be a commercial, and I don't even remember what the commercial was for, but they were. I remember there being a car in the commercial, and then them singing this song. Oh, there ain't no bugs on. Oh, maybe it was for a dog thing. Yeah, I think it was for a dog collar. That's probably what it was. There ain't no bugs on me. No, there ain't no bugs on me. Some of you mugs got a lot of them bugs, but there ain't no bugs on me. I bet you anything it was for a dog commercial, with the fleas collar type thing. And then versus oh, there ain't no flies on me. No, there ain't no flies on me. Some of you guys got a lot. Some of you guys got a lot of them flies, but there ain't no flies on me. That's hilarious, right? And then I woke up in the morning. I glanced up at the wall. Roaches and the bed bugs were playing a game of ball. The score was 6-0. The roaches were ahead. A bed bug hit a home run and knocked me out of bed. That's funny. That's funny stuff right there. Yeah, so there's that. Let's play the melody real quick. Make sure you know that how that's going from the top. 3-beat count in, a little bit slower. 1, 2, 3. Top. 2, 3. Okay, kind of cute. Not a ton in the melody there. Just I mean, it's more about the comedy of the song. Pauline says, "Funny how many of our favorite songs have become commercial tunes." I know. I remember years back when they actually used Janis Joplin's Mercedes Benz in it's the song which is about materialism and oh Lord, won't you buy me a Mercedes Benz? Absolutely met the opposite of what you would think, right? It's about commercialism and crass commercialism, basically, and asking God to bring you stuff. They actually use that song in a Mercedes-Benz commercial, and it's just like, who's licensing her music? Crazy. All right, 2 times through on the tough acts. And be smart about your right hand, make some good decisions there. And for most of us, a thumb down is the perfect way to go to get started. As you've been playing around a while, working on your claw is a better decision or a different decision. 1, 2, 3. it into Hotel California pretty quickly that way, right? Slow it down, a lot of thumb, and it turns into a much better song than it probably is. All right, nice. And then finally for the week in book 2, let's do Alouette, Chante Alouette. And then let's see, how come we only have 2 Streets of Laredo? Oh, because we did Streets of Laredo twice this week. That's why we only have it twice. Oh, so we have plenty of time to grab our major scales after this. Let's do Alouette, then we'll grab the major scales, and we'll play through a couple of those. Alouette, again, D chord, A7. Good opportunity to review what was in the first lesson, along with a little bit more complicated melody and a little bit more complicated tough. Let's give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alouette, chante Alouette, Alouette, chante plumaré, chante plumaré la tête, chante plumaré la tête, et la tête, et la tête, Alouette, Alouette, oh, go, Alouette, chante Alouette, Alouette, chante plumaré, to the top, Alouette, chante Alouette, chante plumaré, chante plumaré la tête, chante plumaré la tête, et la tête, Alouette, Alouette, oh, oh, D chord, Alouette, chante Alouette, Alouette, chante plumaré, 2, 3, 4. Put a high D on. That's my new thing, high D's. Isn't that fun? I don't know why that's my new thing. Paying attention to that fermata, I made a big deal out of it this time. We haven't talked about it all week, but there is a fermata at the end of 9. I think the hard part of measure 9 is going slow enough. Oh, 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 because when as kids we sing it as oh, and we really treated it as a 2-beat measure. But I have all 4 beats plus a fermata. Oh, 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 oh. Slow it down there. All right. Finally, oh no, let's play the melody. D chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go. To the top. Go. A little D note on the end there. D chord, D note, D key of D major. Always lovely. Okay, tough uke, tough axe. Let's give it a try. First time through with my thumb, second time through with my claw. You make your decisions about how you want to sound great. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. And go. Another D chord there at the end. Yeah. Additional practice on D and 7, handling the fermata measure 9, how to play arpeggios. We've talked about that a lot, and how to speak French. So really, very very handy little piece of music there. And by the obviously, when we are working with the arpeggio patterns, you have a lot of choices, guys, and so be creative as you're thinking about approaching a piece of music like this, where you can play it probably. So then, what are you going to do? Especially if you're a singer, all those arpeggio patterns are really, really important. Let's grab our scales. We haven't done those in a couple weeks, and I have a tendency to skip them because I don't like them. But I know that we need to do them because it makes us a better player. And what I'm doing here at the house for my personal stuff is playing a lot of scales. And I am finding them, I don't know if I'm not finding them helpful, but I am finding them incredibly aggravating because you would think it's just playing one note after another. But the problem is to get scales where they really mean something and are, flowing out of your guitar in a way that makes you happy. It's just, it tends to be a lot harder than you want it to be. I do think there's benefit in there. I guess there's benefit in these things. We haven't done the A major scale in a long time, so I'd like to play the A major one a couple of times through and see how we play. As we've talked about before, the scales on this page are open scales. In other words, they are meant to be scales at the lowest end of the guitar, and so you don't end up way up here unless you have to be. I think it's scale. One of them goes up to 10. The D scale goes all the way up to 10 here, but that's the highest you're going to go. And every one of the scales has a 0 in it, meaning that it is an open position. So these are scales that are the lowest scale on the lowest voicing of those scales on the guitar. The scales I'm working on with Segovia are much higher up, and they're all closed scales so that you don't hit zeros on here. You're always in charge of every single string, and that's something classical guitar players will tend to do, and Arlo will tend to do, right, is play the same note higher up on the fretboard so that you're in charge of it. You don't have an open note just ringing out that you don't have any control over. And so players will tend to move their scales further up the neck, take advantage of some of these lower strings. There's benefit in both systems, and so once I get a little more comfortable with the Segovia scales, I'll give you 2 or 3 of those that we can start looking at those and what the difference is between a C major scale here and a C major scale at the open position versus a C major scale at the upper position. And I think the problem when we talk about scales is people tend to lose their minds a little bit. These are activities, these are etudes, these are things you do. They are going to probably make your fingers a little faster. They are probably going to make you a little bit smarter, but they are not going to make you any better at playing songs. Playing songs makes you better at playing songs. And especially with our system where we're basically building everything around chord shapes, scales themselves are not built that way. And so you end up all over the fretboard on scales, which isn't a bad thing, but it's definitely not teaching you necessarily the same stuff that you're learning in your other stuff. I remember doing scales on piano, and I would go through it, learn all the fingering of the scale, be all proud of myself, and then I would get the next song, which was in that key, and I realized that none of the things that I had learned about fingering on fingering scales applied to the song, and they had absolutely wrong fingering noted in the book. And I'm like, well, that's not how you're supposed to do it according to the scales. And I remember my teacher saying, there's scale fingering and then there's other fingering. They don't necessarily go together. And so just know this is an activity. It's important and good for us, but it's not the end of the story by a long shot. So let's play the A major scale. Remember, your Fs, your Cs, and your Gs are all sharp. If you're playing the tablature, you don't care. If you're playing without the tablature, you care a lot. Okay, so let's go from the top. I'm going to just use my thumb. We'll go through it twice with thumb, and then maybe we'll try it with these 2 fingers or something. Okay, from the top. Key of A major, major number 4. Let's play it twice through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually one of the more cooperative scales, I think, on the page. I think because you only have that 4 to 5. That's the only position change you have to make. It key up and from 4 to 5 back to 4. That's pretty convenient little fingering chart there. And so then the other thing to work on, right? Just getting your fingers where they'll cooperate. And those of you who are learning to read standard notation, use the one without the tabs and really focus in on, all right, that's an F sharp, not an F, and so on. That's important if you're learning to read standard notation on guitar. And then finally, this is the other thing, right? So Segovia says, hey, do index middle first, and then go back through, play it again, do middle index, middle index, middle index, middle index, and then go through index ring, index ring, index ring, and then go through and do ring index, ring index, ring index, ring index, and then finally middle ring, middle ring, middle ring, ring middle ring, middle ring, middle. So he wanted you to practice those. He also says in these 8 pages, I think, is it 8 pages long? They don't have page numbers on here. You're supposed to spend 2 hours a day just playing scales. No, Andreas, we are not spending 2 hours a day playing the scales. I guess if you're going to be a concert guitarist and you have that intention, you should probably do that. Outside of that, I don't think that's any fun. From the top, 2 times through, try plucking them instead. We'll make lots of mistakes. 1, 2, 3. 3, 4. Again. I got the last descending word correct. Yeah, so you can tell that I have plenty of work to do on those as well. They're okay. They're okay. They're not terrible for you, but they're not. I don't know. I don't think they're as important as people say they are. All right, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. I could be wrong. All right, there's your scale. Next week we'll do the E major one, and then probably by then I will have some Segovia stuff for you to look at as well. And if you guys are using a particular scale book, or you're thinking, I think it'd be fun to have these as part of our routine, send me a note of which ones you're using. But I think the open scales, the Segovia scales, and then we will probably do a little bit of work on rock scales where it's really designed to be vertical rather than horizontal. And we'll do some of that stuff. All right, let's play our last two songs, Streets of Laredo, Book 3. Let's go here, Book 3. Voluntary. Remember, with Streets of Laredo, we're talking about working our thumb position, and you have to play this one in claw in order for it to work out correctly. So first, let's run through the melody. We'll just play it through one time with chords. 1, 2. As I walked out on the streets of Laredo, as I walked out on Laredo one day, I spied a young cowboy all wrapped in white linen, and cold as the day. And then you would repeat it again 7 times, 8 times, a lot of times. I don't remember how many times. Let's play the melody. 1, 2. That's a really good melody. Chords are pretty basic, but the melody is really cool, and we put them together. You're gonna end up with a nice tune. So let's do this business, right? Let's see how we do. From the top, not fast. 1, 2. Can't get it? To the top. play it a second time, or a third time. And then to the top one more time. The way it's written is cool, right? It's a good exercise. I keep missing where am I missing when I'm in the E7 shape? Yeah, at the end of measure 6 and the end of measure, I think it's measure 3, and going into the the next A chord. I'm just eating that one up pretty bad. I am finding. I thought the third time I went through, I'm like, all right, let's see if I'm just holding the chord shapes, how well I do, and it does make it easier. So, typical finger style, if you're holding the chord shapes, you're probably making your life easier. So give that some thought. All right, let's see. Arlo says scales are pretty boring, but proficiency with them leads to many things that are really neat. Pentatonic scales, thirds to sixths, all of which are really sound good and make up really cool riffs, right? So especially yeah, when you talk riffs, that's what electric guitar players, and they use scales a lot, and it's definitely, I'm not downgrading the importance of scales. I do think they're important. I just don't like doing them. All right, that's it. All right, Trumpet Voluntary, and then we'll get out of here. Let's play it as written. Remember, we play down through 16, come back up, play 1 through 8, skip down, play 17 to the end, and then come back up and play 1 through 8 again. So the repeats here are the hard part. And of course, this is a song that's less familiar to us. So one time through, as written, any way you like. If you want to play melody, you want to play chords, you want to play tough, whatever works for you. I'm going to play tough, and I'm going to use my thumb. I'm going to try to finish strong today. From the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a pretty song. I like playing that song. I'm of course playing it all with my thumb. It's written to be played with a claw, which probably gives it a more regal feeling. I just like, I don't know. I like a nice big blob on that one. Sounds good. Elizabeth added, no doubt about scales, because anytime I crack on scales, Arlo and Elizabeth jump in. Come on, Gary, get on the program. Elizabeth, I found diminished scales in one of my books about a month later. A lick showed up in my orchestra flute part that I could already play. A diminished scale! Exclamation point! Practice paid off. So see, they do provide a service, right? They kind of force you into this thought of how is music put together and stuff. But they are deadly deadly boring to work on, and the whole time you're thinking I could be playing music. Clink, 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 clink. But yeah, there are reasons to do it. It's why I have begrudgingly accepted the fact that we're going to do some of them. But I'm going to also keep them in perspective that they're not necessarily worth the effort that we're supposed to put into them. So, in my opinion, there we go. Okay, guys, have a one. I'll see some of you tonight. Remember, double check your email. I'll get it out a little bit later today. Norwegian Wood and Penny Lane and Super Secret Song number 3. We won't play through any of those tonight other than to look at them. But you'll have those, and of course we'll play through the Beatles stuff that we've already got up on the site. So yesterday, Blackbird, While My Guitar Gently Weeps, Here Comes the Sun. So we will have plenty to keep us busy tonight, and yeah, so that's what I know. Pauline, good to see you. Nancy, you're welcome. Vic, we'll see you guys tonight. Some of you I'll see tonight. Some of you don't make it. That's okay. And that's what I know. Elizabeth, you're welcome. Thanks, guys, for putting up with me. And I will see all of you down the road either later today or tonight. Or remember, we don't have class tomorrow or Monday. So it'll be Tuesday when we get back together. And I will post, if I haven't already. I already have next week's stuff posted on the website, so you can go ahead and start peeking at that stuff if you want. Next week we're playing Carnival of Venice, which I love. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, Clementine, All Through the Night. I mean, that's a legit group of songs next week. So so you might want to spend a little bit of time peeking at those. Have a wonderful afternoon. Have a wonderful weekend. Do a random act of kindness for somebody. Try to be safe. Try to practice. Keep showing up. That's the secret. If you're logged in, if you wouldn't mind subscribe or not subscribe, you're a priority. Subscribe. If you'll hit like, the thumbs up button, that helps. And I will see all of you down the road later somewhere. I agree with you on it. They are a pain. Yeah, they are a pain. I know they pay off. Yeah, these guys that are serious musicians are like, Gary, you got to do them. Yeah, that's good. Your schedule says. The schedule says no class next Thursday, does it? Let me go. I'll go fix that, Pauline. Yeah, we do have class next Thursday. I think. Oh no, there's no Thursday night class next week. Yeah, there's no Thursday night class next week because I have my condo thing. Let me double check I did that right. Thursday during the day there's a class, but Thursday night there's no class next week. Yes, that is correct. It is correct, Pauline. Thanks for checking on that. Yeah, next Thursday night, tonight we have, and then next Thursday night I have my condo meeting. So, so no Thursday night class next week. Remind me to tell those guys tonight. Okay, guys, have a wonderful day. Talk to you soon.